Hello again, everyone. It's me, Johnny. I want to thank you for checking out my channel. And today I want to talk to you about toxic thoughts. For me, it's a very, very important subject. It's something I had to deal with on my road to recovery. And I continually have to deal with it every day, dealing with everything that goes on up here. And for me, I believe in true healing is spirit, soul, and body. I can come to your house and make all the juices for you, do all the smoothies for you, make sure you take your supplements, hook you up with doctors, go exercise, develop a workout program for you. I can do all that. But the one thing I really can't do is deal with your toxic thoughts. That's something you have to do, and it takes time. Of all the thousands of thoughts that we have going on here every day. On my road to recovery is something I first learned how to tackle, is make the decision that I was going to win up here. Come hell or high water, I was going to do it. Didn't know how, didn't understand anything about it. But then I had to start with the inward journey. The inward journey, what's going on on the inside of you reflects the outside. Okay? And for me, what I started to understand is the way I was programmed, the way I was conditioned, because your body works like an orchestra. It's like a symphony. It plays its own song in the universe. Okay, of the billions of people that walk the planet, you play your own song. In my case, the way I looked at it and I started to understand it, I use this analogy. If I grew up north, up north, and up north, New York City, and in New Jersey, we used to have block parties, and you had DJs come out in the block parties, and they would do mixes. And I can remember that sometimes when they didn't do the mix right, they're bringing in another song, it's offbeat. It's not in sync, and everybody stops. If you're dancing or something and that happens, it's like, yo, man, what are you doing? You're messing up the party, you're messing up the groove. With that being said, my subconscious mind was playing one song the way I was programmed, okay? And my conscious mind was playing another song. So they didn't sync up, and I was offbeat for a long time. And there's this new term they throw around now called epigenetics. I have no problem with that, but it's really nothing new if you know what the good book says about the renewing of the mind, okay? And it's all up to you. It even tells you what to think on. It says, think on these things, all right? The Bible also tells you to take every thought captive. This is how I learned and continue to learn about healing the body. I'm not against chemotherapy or radiation. I'm not against anyone who does it. I'll still cheer you on. If that's what your choice is, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. But for me, on my journey, I look at it a little different. I wanted to truly heal and get my life back, spirit, soul, and body. That's why I tell people I'm continually to heal. Because dealing with this is probably one of the most important yet crucial things in my road to recovery that I had to deal with. And it's just like, let's say, use another analogy. If I was to take a pebble, and everybody does that, and you take a pebble and you throw it in a lake, and you have a ripple effect. Well, let's say that pebble is a toxic thought, all right, and your body is a lake, all right, because you're about made up of 80% made up of water. So when you kick off one of those toxic thoughts, it floods the trillions of cells that make you up. And this is continuously over and over and over and over and over and over again. The most important conversation that you'll ever have is the conversation with yourself. The deep things that go on in your body, like what triggers you. Do you want a vanilla shake truly because you want a vanilla shake? Or is it because it's tied to a toxic emotion that you never took time to heal? It takes time, and there's no shame in it. Everybody goes through it. Nobody's perfect. The person that tells you they're perfect, run from them. Just run, all right? Because they're not. All of us have baggage that we deal with. All of us have things that we go through, things that we hold on to, our insecurities. We all have that stuff. Some of the things that I've learned through my journey is what triggers me to, whether back in the day, why would I want to continually eat junk food, for instance? We even call it junk food. We know it's junk, but yet we eat it. Was I really craving the food or the taste? You think about it. If you were to take a hamburger bun and you take away, well, hamburger, right? with all the fixings, all the trimmings, right? Whatever that is for you. You take away the bun, take away the cheese, take away the ketchup, the onions, the fried mushrooms if you like that, the pickles, the ketchup, whatever it is, and the salt, the pepper, and you're just left with the hamburger patty itself with no flavor to it. Would you desire that? Chances are I know I wouldn't. Because when meat is bland, it has no flavor to it, you say, man, that's the first thing you do is look for the salt. So you're really not craving the meat. What you're really craving is the salt and the oil. And for me, it was like a triggering process. Like, why would I continue to go back to fast food time and time again? We call it junk food. We refer to it as junk food. All processed food is junk food. What would trigger me to do that, knowing that I was destroying myself? A slow suicide. Little by little, I was just killing myself. I didn't need a gun, didn't need a bullet, you know? And I would sit there and subconsciously, I was singing another song. See, everybody has their own song to sing in the universe. Your body works like an orchestra. It's a symphony. You have your own pH, your own ecosystem. You know, you have, man, your own electrical system, your heart, where you send out pulses. Man, this stuff is real. The more and more I learn about raw foods, it's amazing and light. I'm into that right now. That's a whole nother video. But anyway, but getting back into toxic thoughts is when you really start to deal with them. You know, the good book says, taking every thought captive. You know, taking everything you think about. That's why meditation is so crucial. To getting rid of these thoughts and rewiring the brain. Spending time with self. And learning how to love you. Because the greatest medicine we can give ourselves is to love ourselves. Not in an arrogant way, not in a selfish way. You know, because along with that comes compassion. I believe when you truly, truly, truly start to love yourself, okay, you start making better decisions. When you truly tap into purpose and passion, those are the two twins in life. They coincide with each other. All right? Find passion, you'll find purpose. What you really love to do. What you really go for, and then you're in sync. Because nobody else in the world can do the job that you do like you do it. You have your own giftings. There's something special about each and every one of us. That we're created different. But yet we're supposed to sing in harmony. We're supposed to be a balance in this thing called universe. We live in a dimension of time, but yet we live in eternity at the same time. One step away, you go from this realm into the realm of light. To me, that's mind-boggling. But these are the things that I believe. These are the things that I've learned on my journey. That my body's not a trash can, that it's a temple. And I found out the more raw foods that I eat, the better I feel. The more complete I feel. The healthier I feel. I do eat cooked food, but I'm leaning more, for me, my journey, a lot more smoothies, a lot more raw foods, a lot more salads I'm getting into. I'm learning more and more and dealing with emotions up here. Toxic emotions, not going off on the handle. Because I believe all the processed foods with all the chemicals set your mind off. I do believe that for some reason. That you're not at your ultimate peak performance when you're continually eating junk food. We call it junk, we label it junk, but yet we continue to eat it. I know I did. And you go back and you look at it, it's just like, you ask yourself, like, why am I eating this? What's causing me to eat this? Why would I continually want to commit a slow suicide? Didn't need a gun, didn't need a bullet. Didn't need to step in front of a car, didn't need to jump off a bridge. I was doing it to myself. Addicted to foods, but mostly toxic thoughts would trigger it. Because we call them comfort foods, and they're not really comfort foods. Your body's a temple. Your body is this gift, this thing we call life, this special gift that we have. And you only get to live it once. You know, and you want to make the best of it by making the best choices. And I truly believe when you truly love yourself, learn how to love yourself, not with your lips, but with your heart. You don't tolerate dead relationships. You don't even respond to them. You know, you don't get caught up in arguments, the things that are meaningless. You don't settle for a job that you go there and you just hate being there all day, and you fantasize about being somewhere else, only to come back to it the next day. Repeated, repeated, repeated. How crazy is that to rush to somewhere that you hate? That's crazy. But in time, if you're going through that, then make a plan, write it down, put the vision down in front of it. Plan it out, make your steps, and then go for yours. I got a second chance at life. I'm running for mine. I'm not looking back. I'm taking no prisoners, no hostages. I ain't second guessing. I am going for mine. And it all started from here, dealing with self, dealing with me, dealing with the things that would trigger it. Because when you start bombarding and bombarding and bombarding constantly over and over again, you're not at peace with yourself. You actually have dis-ease. Dis-ease starts to set in because you're not at ease. That's not the way we're wired, you know? And then when you start adding drugs and chemicals and you start drinking, like, you know, for me, I would say, man, if I would have a drink or something, not that I'm a big drinker, but even back in the day, but you would start drinking, you'd end up having a barroom fight up in your head with all the thoughts all by yourself, and you knock yourself out. You know, that's how crazy things are. You know, when you're not dealing with self, when you're not going for yours. And if anything I can tell you about, is just sit back by yourself. Ask yourself the questions. What do you want out of this life? What do you really want to accomplish? What is my purpose? What are my giftings? You're not going to get that watching the idiot box. They say most people, unsuccessful people, spend up to 6 hours a day watching the idiot box. That's 6 hours you can never get back. That's 6 hours you're taking away from your destiny. That's 6 hours you're taking away from your purpose. All right? I'm going to end it here. I want to thank you guys for all your support. God bless you guys, and thank you. God bless.